All right. Hello, everyone, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Children of all ages, dogs, animals, robots, androids, sentient AIs, aliens, Martians. Let's see. Amoebas. Everyone, welcome to the stream today. I am excited. I hope you guys are too. Holy crap, finally. Dude, I've been waiting for this day for a long time. I really have. Like, ever since the announcement of the Street Fighter 30th Anniversary Collection, I have been waiting anxiously for the release of this game because it is, out of all the releases that could come out, out of all the releases that could be in my realm of expertise, a game that is my forte, so to speak, this is it. Ladies and gentlemen, for those who don't know, I am Darkside Phil. Welcome to my premiere stream of the Street Fighter 30th Anniversary Collection. I wholeheartedly welcome you to the fun. I am 36 years old. Yeah, I know. I'm probably much older than most of the streamers that you guys would watch. However, this allows me the unique perspective of being a person who grew up in the 1990s, when arcades were the big burgeoning thing of pop culture for the youth of America. And, yeah, it was basically a situation where I grew up when Street Fighter, in particular, amongst many other fighting games, were very, very popular. Okay, very popular. And I was actually in an arcade the day when Street Fighter 2 was released to American audiences. It was a chance, because at the time I was a kid, and I was into playing games such as the Ninja Turtles 4-player beat 'em up. You know, Ninja Turtles, the arcade game from Konami, as well as the Simpsons arcade game, and games like that. I was big fans of those. And then Street Fighter 2 came out, and there was a giant crowd around the game, huge line to play, and that was pretty much the end of my run of messing around with those other kind of games. It just became, I was a fighting game player from then on, okay? And I played every version of Street Fighter that was ever available in my local arcade, including all four, I would say, actually it was 4 versions of Street Fighter 2, all the versions of Street Fighter Alpha, all the versions of Street Fighter 3, amongst other games like Killer Instinct, all the Mortal Kombats, right? God, I could probably name about 20 different fighting game franchises: Tekken, Virtua Fighter, King of Fighters, Fatal Fury, and Art of Fighting, Rival Schools, War Gods. Oh God, I'll just go on forever if I start naming all these fighting games. But they were a huge thing, a huge cultural thing in the 1990s. Okay, and this particular collection that releases today has 12 games. 11 of them were actually straight up hardcore competitive games that I played in arcades over the course of the 1990s and the 2000s. All right. Now, this collection has such a wide variety of Street Fighter games in it. Some of them I'm pretty damned good, some of them I'm okay, and some of them I'm terrible at, alright? So, real talk to all of you, so you know what to expect when I play this collection moving forward. I'm pretty damned good at the original Street Fighter 2 games, including Hyper Fighting, which is the 3rd one, and Super Turbo, which is the final one. Super Turbo was the game that I actually got 4th place at Evo Nationals, with only 3 Japanese players placing above me. So basically, I was the best American that year in Super Turbo. That was 2005. And Super Turbo also is the game that I placed at and/or won Evo qualifiers throughout the country at various places. All right. I also won tons of tournaments on the East Coast as well. So all that being said, I am very, very good at Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo. Am I the best in the world? No, I am not. I'll wholeheartedly admit that the Japanese are much better at than us in general, just as Street Fighter, and always kind of bested me. But in America, you know, I'm probably, when you really compare all the competitive players in America who ever played Super Turbo, I'm probably top 25. If you're talking current level, I have no idea, because no one's been playing the game actively, you know. At one point, I would say I was definitely top 10, even maybe top 5 in the country. But now I have no idea. You know, I don't know who's playing, and let's be face it, I haven't played the game competitively in a while, so I'm probably rusty if I actually wanted to play at a competitive level. But in addition to that, this game has all 3 versions of Street Fighter Alpha. Now, I like Street Fighter Alpha. That was a big departure for Street Fighter, where the series decided to go a more anime-ish / manga style design. And the game has a ridiculous amount of characters. Some of it had chain combos, and they took away the chain combos. Then they added custom combos and different grooves and isms. Basically, the Alpha series is fun, but it was never a series that I was amazing at. Like, I cannot really play it at a high competitive level. I'm good. With any character, I can pretty much pick up, but I never really played it at a high level. And Alpha 3 is the version in this collection that is allowed to be played online, and I was never good at Alpha 3. So make no mistake, I'll play Alpha 3, I'll try to learn characters and have fun with it, but that's the game I'm probably going to get bodied in the most, because I don't know so much about it, okay? Now, Street Fighter 3 was a franchise that a lot of people, when it first released, did not like. They said, man, we don't like what Capcom has done with Street Fighter. These parries have really changed up the series. In addition, they took out most of the original cast of Street Fighter. You know, you're dealing with a whole new cast of characters, and a lot of people didn't like it. Then, over the iterations of the game, by the time Third Strike, the third version, came out, a lot of people really, really actually liked the series. And I got really good at Street Fighter 3 Third Strike right along the time, right before Street Fighter 4 was released. So you're talking around the mid-2000s to about, what was it, 8-9 years ago when Street Fighter 4 was released. I was going to arcades, I was playing it in tournaments on console, and I got really good with Ken. I was doing incredibly well in tournaments. Hugo, my Hugo's pretty damn decent. I have a Urian that's shitty as hell, but it's hilarious because I still get wins because I trick people with him, which is funny. And I try to dabble with other characters like Oro and the like. I'm not amazing at Third Strike, okay? Nowhere near as good as I am in Super Turbo, but I do like to think I am at least half decent. And I could probably show you guys some fun stuff in that game, especially with some parries and stuff. It's fun, always fun to parry stuff with flair and then bust out with a giant counter combo or whatever, right? So, that being said, all of that being said, I'm super stoked for this collection. This is exactly what I've been craving. With all the recent fighters that have come out, I'm like, man, there's something missing. These fighters have dumbed down controls. They're made for the masses, per se. Let's make these games much easier to play and learn and adapt to, because, we want something that a bunch of people will buy and be able to jump into right away. I'm going to forewarn all of you, that is not what this collection is going to be. In fact, if you guys haven't heard, this collection was purposely made to be hard to play. There are no macros in the Street Fighter 30th Anniversary Collection. Let me repeat myself. There's no shortcuts and no macros. You actually have to be good at these games in order to play them. You actually need to have the hand-eye coordination to pull off the proper inputs and special moves. You're not just going to magically mash out dragon punches or supers. You actually need to be good to get the moves. In fact, last night I can confirm I played one set of each game online just to test it. First of all, there was no lag at all in the 3 matches that I played, which was pretty outstanding, okay? Then I went into training mode with Zangief, and I could confirm it is basically the arcade emulated versions. There are no input shortcuts whatsoever. That means there's no press one button and it does 3. Like, for example, with Zangief, typically you press one button and it macros all 3 punches or all 3 kicks to do his spinning clothesline. Nope. You have to actually press all 3 buttons now to get the move to come out. Spinning pile drivers, 360 motion, you have to be strict and you have to time it correctly or it doesn't come out. No more just mashing like an idiot and getting random 360. Same thing with dragon punches. As you guys saw when I played Ultra Street Fighter 2, how many people just picked V-Ken and just mashed dragon punch? Can't even do that. You have to time it properly. There's no macro, there's no shortcut. You have to be perfect with it. Okay? So that being said, this is going to be quite interesting because we have all been desensitized to fighting games. The last 10 years since the release of Street Fighter 4, all we've seen is fighting games get more and more dumbed down. And this collection doesn't have that. No shortcuts, no macros, nothing. You have to put in the proper inputs. In fact, just for clarification purposes, I am currently playing this today on PS4. I may or may not get this collection on other consoles like the Switch or the Xbox One in the future, dependent on how people like this game. If you really like to see me play this game, and I have an audience on other consoles that want to play me, I would consider getting it, but only if it gets me, obviously, a lot of attention to the point where people want to keep watching it. I'm not going to cover it for a week and then people lose interest. Oh, now you're going to go buy it on other consoles? No, of course not, okay? So we'll see how people, accept the game into my streaming schedule. See how you guys like me playing the Street Fighter Collection, all right? But I am playing this on a joystick, my Hori Real Arcade Pro 4, which is the competitive joystick I own for the PlayStation 4. Simply put, if I didn't have this joystick, there's certain characters in Super Turbo I couldn't play as. For example, Balrog. To do a turn punch, which is an integral part of Balrog's high-level play, you need to charge either 3 punches or 3 kicks and release. Try doing that on a gamepad, right? That with a trigger button plus 2 face buttons, it's like impossible. Okay? So, yeah. Definitely I have to play with a stick in order to play this at a competitive level. Versus, other versions, perfect example here. Ultra Street Fighter 2 last year had macros out the ass, so I was only holding down a simple button to do the turn punch, while now I have to actually hold them all down. It's a lot tougher. It is. It's a lot tougher, man. So we'll see. Now, the only criticism so far, keep in mind, I've only played the game, 1 match in each game. The only criticism that I have so far, all right, is that sadly, it seems that they screwed up the speed of Super Turbo. Allow me to explain. Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo is an arcade game, and in fact, the version of Super Turbo in this collection is the arcade version. However, I don't know if it's the American version or the Euro version. And what I mean by that is that there are different game boards that were sold worldwide. There was one that was sold to Americans, there was one that was sold to European territories, and there was one that was sold to Japan. All of them, sadly, have different game speeds. I know that sounds stupid. For whatever reason, the default game speed settings are wrong, and there's no actual default speed for Super Turbo. It's been a lifelong debate. What is the proper game speed that Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo should be played at in tournaments? And everyone disagrees, okay? Oh, it should be American Turbo 2. No, it should be World Turbo 1. No, it should be Japanese Turbo 3. And everyone argues what is the actual speed the game's supposed to run at, okay? And that's kind of unfortunate because you never know when you go to a tournament, what speed is the game going to be? When you play a version of the game, on console, what speed is it? So, in particular, last night, I played 1 set of Super Turbo. I can tell you guys, it's whatever version of the game that it's used for this collection, they defaulted it to Turbo 2, but it's slightly faster than what I'm used to. Like, it's actually much faster than Ultra Street Fighter 2. So for those of us who played Ultra Street Fighter 2 over the last year, that game was running on a slower speed than this game does. This game is running much, much faster. So the input for combos is quicker. The reaction time is actually needed is tougher. So it's actually going to be harder to play Super Turbo in this collection than it's been to play any version of Super Turbo in the last decade. Remember, we had Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo HD Remix. That was running at a different speed and had input shortcuts. And then we had Ultra Street Fighter 2. That was running at a different speed and had input shortcuts and macros. This has none of that, and it's faster. So, damn, this is going to be tricky. This is going to be really tricky. I mean, real talk. I'm curious to see how I do and how other people are going to do adapting to the faster speed. But, hey, it is what it is. My attitude has always been this, okay? You gotta play what's new, and you gotta play what the accepted version is. If a tournament's gonna use the PlayStation 1 version of Super Turbo, you gotta learn that version. If they're gonna play they call it Anniversary Edition. This was a game that was 12 years ago was out. Or if you're gonna play the Capcom Classics Collection 2 version of Super Turbo, or if you're gonna play HD Remix version of Super Turbo, or Ultra Street Fighter 2, that's the version you need to learn if you're gonna compete, right? There's no complaining about, oh, this isn't the actual arcade 100% accurate version that everyone is used to. Everyone complains about that. It's like, dude, you're just wasting your time. People are going to play what's new and what's available. This is what's new and available. So get used to it. I mean, really, I'll probably lose. I'm probably going to lose today because I won't be used to the controls of the game. I'm probably going to lose today because of the speed of the game. And that's okay. As long as overall I can adapt eventually, and get used to it, this should be a lot of fun. It's actually what I'm actually expecting today in Super Turbo. Old Sagat out the asshole. Old Sagat, for those who don't know, is a version of Sagat that was not available in the Ultra Street Fighter 2. He's a version, you pick Sagat on the character select screen, you enter a simple code, it's up, down, up, jab, and you get Sagat as an older version of himself. He doesn't have a super move, but his fireballs are faster and deal more stun and damage. His Dragon Punch / Tiger Uppercut, which is the real name of it, deals ridiculous amounts of reversal damage. So if you hit it as a reversal move, you can take giant chunks off of other people's energy bars. And he has, I believe he has more health. So it's actually a better version of Sagat that most people use in tournaments. Almost no one uses modern Sagat in Super Turbo. Most people use old Sagat because he's very easy to learn. He's easy to pick up. He's incredibly powerful, and he's one of the best in the game when played at a high level. So I suppose we're going to see a ton of old Sagats today. That's my guess. Okay? I guess we're going to see. But anyway, you guys voted overnight. I had a poll running on my Twitter. I wanted to see what you guys were most interested in this collection. And overwhelmingly, the #1 game that came in was Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo. You guys want to see me play the game that I've always done the best in. You want to see me in my element, in my forte. So that's what we're starting with today, Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo. Will that be the entirety of the first stream? I don't know. It might or might not be. It depends on how you guys like it. If you're having a ton of fun watching me play Super Turbo, I'll do it for this whole stream. If halfway through the stream you guys determine, all right, well, this is great, but let's see something else, then I'll probably switch over to Third Strike, because that was the game that came in #2 in the overnight polls. That's Street Fighter 3 Third Strike, the final version of Street Fighter 3. Just to give you guys some perspective here, all right, I played one set of this last night and picked Ken. And the guy who I played picked Sean, which obviously Sean's terrible in Third Strike. He was doing his moves, EX version of his moves, like he has that spinning heel kick. I perfect parried both hits of it into a super combo. So I was parrying stuff pretty easily. And that's crazy because parrying online in the older versions of Third Strike actually was quite daunting because of the lag. It seems that there's no lag in this game. I don't know, at least the match I had last night, I was parrying everything. I was like, dude, this is great. I'm just like jumping around parrying the guy's moves. He's getting all frustrated because he's like, how the fuck do I hit this guy? I'm just parrying everything. So, should be pretty sweet. And I'm excited to see how things go in Third Strike as well. So, again, starting with Super Turbo, if you guys really like it, I'll keep going. If not, you want to see variety, I'm more than happy to switch over to Third Strike and play some of that on stream as well. Keep in mind, I am playing this again tonight on my second stream. Okay? So, more Street Fighter later tonight. Again, do you want to see more Super Turbo, more Third Strike? Do you want to see me try Alpha 3 online? That's your call, and we'll see what happens later tonight. That's my second stream around 6:15 p.m. Pacific time, all right? So all day long, I will be playing the Street Fighter 30th Anniversary Collection. I'm very excited to see how this game performs on PS4. And I certainly hope you guys are ready as well, all right? Fair enough. Now, one thing to definitely bring up, guys, we hit the subscriber goal for this month. The subscriber goal was 425 subs. We hit it, which means I'm doing a special event in this collection sometime in June. It's called the Street Fighter 30th Anniversary Collection Master Run Challenge. What is it? Well, I'm going to be doing a 7 to 8 hour long marathon at some point in June. So I'll pick a date once, once we get through E3 and all that and things settle down a little bit. I'm going to be doing the arcade modes of every version of the competitive game, including Street Fighter 2, Street Fighter 2 Champion Edition, Hyper Fighting, Super, and Super Turbo. Also, Street Fighter Alpha 1, 2, and 3, and Street Fighter 3, Street Fighter 3 Second Impact, and Street Fighter 3 Third Strike. So every version of the games in the game, except for Street Fighter 1, because Street Fighter 1 is a broken piece of crap. It's actually not a fighting game. It's more like an arcade masher, and it's incredibly difficult to beat it because you can't even get special moves consistently, so I'm not putting that into the marathon. That would be a waste of time. But for the actual competitive fighters, I'm going to be attempting to beat the arcade modes of all of these games on the hardest setting. For those who don't know, the hardest setting of any Capcom Classic fighter is incredibly gruelingly cheap. What they do is they read your button inputs and immediately try to counter hit you when you do moves for double damage. And it blatantly cheats in the fact that it does more damage and takes less. So it's going to be very, very difficult for me to win. And I'm going to try to beat all of these games in a marathon setting. It's going to be a fun event. I'm really excited for it. I've never done an event like this before. More than likely, it's going to be very rage-filled, salt-filled, which is what you guys love. But there's also going to be some really fun stuff. So that's coming up sometime in June. Like I said, once we get through the early new releases in June, we get through E3, I'll settle down a little bit, and we'll finally set a date for that, okay? So I'll let you know, but we'll see. You know, we'll see moving forward when I'll have a time to that. I'm very excited for that as well, okay? All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being here. The premiere of the collection. I'm super stoked. I hope you guys are stoked too. Without further ado, let's do some plugs. Let's get my plug segment out of the way. Then I'm also going to do shout-outs. Okay? Shout-outs. For those who have cheered, subbed, and tipped. Okay? So we'll see what happens there. And then we will begin with the madness. Alright? Now, first of all, as you guys can see, I have brought the cheer, sub, and tip leaderboard. I call it the stats leaderboard. Onto the stream. This will be running every time I play the Anniversary Collection. This is a competitive fighting game. There's no story. It's not going to be like, oh god, having those stats on the screen or take away from the game or anything. So it will be here during the course of all the gameplay that I do of the collection. And if this collection ends up being a success, this is something that I would consider playing a couple times a week moving forward. I love it, man. I love the classics. This is right up my alley. I cannot wait. I hope that I can continue to play this as an ongoing series. All right. So if you cheer, sub, or tip today, you have a very high chance of getting up on the leaderboard. In fact, already a bunch of people have cheered, subbed, and tipped. I don't think anyone tipped actually, but people did cheer and sub, and you are going to get up on that leaderboard once I get to the shoutouts. Okay. All right, very good. Now, let's go through the plugs segment, and then we'll get into the shout-outs. Sound good? Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys very much for your support. 10 freaking years. I have been a content creator on the internet. 10 years. I have made videos for YouTube, live streamed. It's been a ton of fun. It's my occupation, and I love my job. So I want to thank you for 10 years of support and 10 years of success. And I hope to keep doing this as long as I can. I love it. That being said, all right, if you like my daily live streams, if you like my on-demand videos on YouTube, if you're very stoked to see my coverage of the Street Fighter 30th Anniversary Collection as much as I am, and you want to maybe go above and beyond just be a standard viewer and help out in another way, there's several ways that you can ensure that I can continue to put out these daily live streams and fun videos on a daily basis, all right? First of all, there is my Patreon. And FYI, guys, there's only 2.5 days left in the month of May, okay? That means there's only 2.5 days left for you to pledge to my Patreon for the month of May, okay? So give it a look over at patreon.com/DarksidePhil. When you pledge to my Patreon, you obviously help ensure that I can keep doing this for a living. However, you earn fun personal perks. For example, being able to nominate and vote on games for ongoing events. Right now, people who pledged to my Patreon last month, people are voting for an upcoming Patron's Choice playthrough. Games such as Jak 3, The Simpsons Hit and Run, Half-Life 2, Assassin's Creed Rogue, Eternal Darkness, among others, are being voted on right now. And that's awesome because it gives you unprecedented power. I mean, that's going to be a playthrough that I do and thousands of people are going to watch it. Just think about that amount of power you get, right? So, that's one thing you could get for being a patron. You could get text or verbal shout-out thank yous in my videos. You could get your questions answered on my bi-monthly Q&A show, Ask the King, or you can even get a private Q&A video made where I sit down for 20 to 30 minutes and I just personally answer whatever questions you throw at me, all right? These are great perks. Give it a look over at patreon.com/DarksidePhil, and please consider pledging. If you do, I'm greatly appreciative of that. And there's only 2.5 days left for you to get in on this month, meaning if you pledge now, you'll get your perks within the next week or two. If you don't, you're going to have to wait over a month because it's a monthly thing, okay? So please consider pledging. That's number one. Number two, there is my Teespring store where I sell all kinds of fun merchandise, t-shirts, sweatshirts, hoodies, stickers, and mugs. Great quality stuff, fun stuff, and I think that you'll really enjoy some of that, especially if you are a fan of mine who watches my stuff all the time. A lot of sayings and memes from my streams. All artwork and logos designed by viewers and fans. It's great stuff, and I just want to say thank you to those who have submitted artwork in the past. You guys are awesome. Give it a look. Anything you buy from my Teespring store, I get a commission from. It helps me out, and you get a cool collectible, so it's a win-win. Give it a look over at teespring.com/stores/DSPgaming. And yes, before that question is asked, it does ship worldwide. So anyone around the world can get some of this cool merch, okay? All right. In addition, please, if you are here live on stream, and the reason I say that is because some people do watch this pre-stream on YouTube on demand. I am recording it for YouTube. But if you're here live on stream and you're feeling hype, you're getting excited, this is it. After all the hype and anticipation, I'm finally playing this collection. I'm going to be handing out ass whoopings left and right. I'm sure I'm going to lose too, and people are going to get salty and hype about that too. And you want to contribute. Maybe you want to get a shout out during the stream, okay? I will give you a shout out during the stream. However, you need to either cheer with bits, subscribe to the channel, or tip me, and I'll give you a nice shout out for your contribution, all right? Now, there's a couple ground rules that I want to say up front. Number one, please be as short and brief as possible. What I mean by that is, please don't be long-winded. Don't post, oh, here's a paragraph I'd like Phil to read on stream. No. This is a gameplay stream primarily. I'm not going to derail the stream for 5 to 10 minutes to start doing a giant Q&A or read your Shakespearean sonnet that you decided to post up. Short-worded, brief, to the point, you know, questions, comments, jokes, that kind of stuff is, you know, accepted and appreciated. Number two, please try to be positive. Please try to at least try to stay on topic. Although you don't have to be 100% on topic. That is not a rule. But I don't want people coming in here, oh, I'm going to ask Phil a political or a religious question to totally throw everything off and start drama and controversy, right? Oh, I'm going to insult Phil or insult someone else on the stream. I'm going to tell Phil someone's being a jerk to him and making insulting videos. This is not the place for that. This is supposed to be a fun, exciting gameplay stream to entertain the viewers and for me to have fun playing Street Fighter, period. This is not the place for negative drama, for nonsense. We're not going to derail it into ridiculous conversations of bullshit, all right? So please keep that stuff out of here. FYI, it is my subjective decision whether or not I read a message on stream. So if you do cheer, sub, or tip, and I don't read out your message, I apologize in advance. I appreciate your contribution, but I'm not going to read everything, and sometimes some messages just get missed too, and I apologize for that. In particular, keep in mind, guys, this is a fighting game stream. I can't read your messages during a match. I'll try between the matches to the best of my ability, but for the most part, I'm going to try to be, you know, reading your messages in between everything, and sometimes it could be a daunting task, all right? But I'm going to do my best, all right? Number two, maybe you'd like a visual recognition for your contributions, right? Would you like to see a nice, fun on-screen animation play when you cheer, sub, or tip? Well, you could do that as well. How do you get that? Well, you need to either cheer 50 bits or more at a time, or if you subscribe to the channel and wait a few minutes, a share button will appear. If you click that share button, it'll play the animation. Or if you tip me $5 or more, all right, $5 or more at a time. Any of those things will play a fun thank you animation on the screen with your message. So it's a cool way to get both visual and verbal recognition during the stream, okay? Now, two quick things. Number one, subscribing. Right now, guys, if you subscribe to my channel, it's going to benefit you in a big way. Why? Because right now, being worked on are Street Fighter emotes. Someone named Popsicolo, longtime viewer, fan, and chat moderator, who has made many emotes and has also made the animations for this stream, is working on a new slew of emotes for everyone related to the Street Fighter Anniversary Collection, okay? So he should have those, you know, I'm thinking within, you know, a week or two. We'll see. I haven't committed him to anything yet, but that's going to be sweet. Imagine having a fun set of emotes just for when I play Street Fighter. Pretty awesome, number one. Number two, you get access to all the other emotes that I already have if you subscribe, including the DSP Pepe, the surprise, the DSP, me with the cowboy hat, all the silly stuff people like to post in other streams to troll. You get access to all those. Number three, you will not have to watch advertisements when I run them on stream. That's a huge benefit for those who hate ads like me. I hate them. You don't have to watch them. And number four, you get the Chat Crown badge, which is the subscriber loyalty badge. Starts off as a bronze badge, but as you become a longer ongoing subscriber, it changes colors to silver, gold, and other stuff later on. I'm very appreciative of all my subscribers who give me ongoing support. You guys are awesome, all right? I want to say thank you guys very much for that, okay? Last but not least, guys, before we get to shout-outs, I had mentioned tipping me. And you might say, well, what the hell does that mean? Because I know how to cheer and sub. It's right here in my face on Twitch. But what Phil's mentioning tips. How do you do that? Well, tips are a completely different process. It's a third-party thing through PayPal. It's a way for you to directly contribute without having to go through a middleman, basically. Okay? And tips help me out tremendously because right now, I'm in a little bit of financial crunch. All my bills are clearing for the month in the next week to 2 weeks. And things are tight. So if you tip me during today's stream, I get that money right away. It helps me to pay my bills. Like, real talk, that's what the money goes to. It doesn't go into some ridiculous account that I go buy Ferraris and yachts with. I pay my bills with it, okay? So if you would like to tip me during the stream, there's two ways you can do it. Either if you're watching live on stream, and if you scroll below the stream, you may see a grid of information. You know, there's the stream rules there that I recommend you read and understand. There's a link to my YouTube channel, DSPgaming, where I archive all of my streams. But there's also a link that says Tips Cup or Tips Jar. And if you click on that, all right, it'll bring you to the tips page where you can either leave an anonymous tip or you could leave your name in a message if you would like to get credit for your contribution on stream, okay? Now, you may not see that information I just mentioned. Maybe none of that information shows up under the stream. If that's the case, you're watching on a mobile version of Twitch. And that's perfectly fine. What you could do then, if you type !tip into the stream chat, it'll bring up the link that you can click on, and that'll take you to the tips page as well. All right, so tips are greatly appreciated. Very much, guys. Please consider tipping me if you can. It helps me out more than anything else right now. And you guys will definitely help me out with your tips today, all right? Although all contributions are appreciated, your tips are greatly appreciated right now, more than anything. All right, let's get the shout-outs to people who have cheered, subbed, and tipped during the pre-stream. Let me scroll all the way down here. We start off with The Last Rambo, who did a 100-bit cheer. He says, Mario Tennis Aces really seems to be an ambitious title, and you should give it a try, as you've already skipped a lot of Switch games. I can get it for you. Well, here's the deal. First of all, I don't even know when it comes out. I'll be real with you guys. Out of all the first-party Mario titles, Mario Tennis is the one that pretty much interests me the least. I don't really care about tennis. I've never have. You know, if Mario Tennis was actually like Mario Sports, collection, and it had baseball and tennis and football and everything like that, then I would be interested. But just playing tennis, I don't know. That to me sounds pretty boring. I'm sure it has mini games and shit in it, but to me it just doesn't sound very interesting. So honestly, I had no intention of playing it. Plus, what you guys got to realize, Nintendo first-party games always get claimed on YouTube. So if I play this game and I record it and I upload it to YouTube, I make no money. Okay? Just, you know, it sucks. It's a shitty thing to have to consider, but it is something I have to consider. You know, this is a business, and I have to play stuff that is going to pay the bills. And first-party Nintendo games don't do that. So, you know, in the last year, I played a few first-party games. You guys were very generous on streams, which was awesome. But I don't know how generous people would be to see me playing fucking tennis, all right? Now, Last Rambo, if you were actually willing to buy the game on my behalf, then I would at least consider playing it. I wouldn't commit to playing it extended. Like, I'm not going to say, oh, I'm going to play this game 25 times or anything like that. But I would at least consider playing it a couple times, all right? So if you're okay with that, and you're considering you want to gift me the game, email me at darksidephil@hotmail.com. We'll talk it out. We'll go through the details. More than likely, it'll probably be where if you just buy, like, credit on the eShop, like one of those gift cards, and I could use that to buy the game, then I would consider doing it, all right? But that's pretty much it. I wouldn't buy it myself for sure. All right. Shout out to Rubador, who subscribed to the channel for the 6th month in a row. He says, can't stop, won't stop, don't know how to stop. Thank you, Rubador, for 6 months of support. You have now earned your Golden Shat Crown badge for 6 months of being a sub. Thank you very much. Yusuke, 14K, did a 100-bit cheer. He says, this game actually plays very well with no button delay, but the gameplay with someone with a bad connection is very choppy. Plus, it's harder to do supers in all the online games for some reason. Yes, Yusuke, for 2 reasons. Number one, first of all, he says, if you play it with no button delay, it's good. That's right. This game actually has an optional setting in the options where you can set it up to say, I don't want any lag. I don't know why anyone would want fucking input lag, but there's actually an option to have input lag, and you can turn it to 0. So obviously that's what I did. No, I don't want my button inputs to be fucking delayed, you stupid game. So I put button input to 0, and it works pretty damned well when you do that, okay? Now, Yusuke, you may be saying, it's hard to do supers online. The reason is, Yusuke, because like I said, in the past 10 years, every version of Street Fighter that we have played has been dumbed down and has what's considered input shortcuts. It didn't require strict inputs to get supers. You just had to mash, and it would assume you were trying to do a super and give it to you anyway. In this game, it's actually going to require you properly input the super motion, and if there is lag, you're absolutely right. If you're in the middle of a super and lag spike hits, it'll drop your input. Now the super doesn't come out because it dropped one of your inputs during the super motion. With input shortcuts, that usually would still give you the super anyway. In this game, it won't. So, yeah, lag is going to be a big factor, and strictness of control will be a huge factor that a lot of people are probably going to have issue with because they're used to having input shortcuts that don't exist in this game. Okay? Deluxe Swine just did a 200-bit cheer. Currently, Deluxe Swine, you are the top cheerer. However, I believe someone has out-cheered you, so I'm not going to update the leaderboard yet. Deluxe Swine says, I see a lot of you in Sonic Fox. I bet you could get to a high level again. I don't really know anything about Sonic Fox. I just know he's been a top fighting game player for a while. That's about it. I don't know anything much about him, so, but, if I really wanted to be at a high competitive level in fighting games, I absolutely could. The problem is I just don't want to. I don't want to put in the incredible amount of time and money and effort that it takes to get to that level, because I don't think it's worth it. You know, right now, I play a wide variety of games. I stream from home every single day. I have a ton of fun, all right? And I love what I do. I do. I absolutely love what I do for a living, all right? And I certainly wouldn't want to sacrifice that to say, well, I'm not going to stream the way I stream anymore. I'm just going to play fighting games constantly now so I get to a competitive level and play in tournaments. That's going to turn off, like, a huge amount of my audience, all right? A huge amount. So I would not want to make that sacrifice, quite frankly. I love being a variety streamer. Even though I like fighting games, if all I did was play fighting games all the fucking time to get competitive again, I probably would be bored and be basically disappointed and hate what I do. What I love is that every day when I come to stream, I'm playing something different. I'm playing something fun and refreshing. It keeps us for 10 years. It's kept me going, right? That every day I'm doing something fun and different with you guys versus, oh man, I got to go play Street Fighter again, right? I don't like that. I mean, I'm sure there's competitive players who love it. I'm not like that. Like, even when I was a top-level player in games like Super Turbo, I had to take hiatuses. I had to take time away from the game because if I got burnt out, I would actually play worse. I would actually, you know, fuck up and get frustrated and not do as well at a competitive level, so. Okay. All right. Shout out to Lalika, who says, it's really cool seeing you play the Street Fighter games and showing us that you are a pro at it. Excited you will do boss rage of it. Will you do better than Maximilian Dude at the boss rage? I don't know, but I hope you have fun. Sorry for the long cheer. Well, I apparently, since I announced I was doing this Master Run Challenge marathon event, some people have said it sounds like I'm doing something similar to what Maximilian does called boss rage. I don't even know what that is. I don't watch Maximilian, so I don't know what that is. It sounds to me like maybe he takes on the final boss of a game, just like I'm going to do at the hardest difficulty or something. I'm going to be doing all of the games in one marathon. That's going to be probably a lot different than him just doing one game. But, I don't know. But, you know, will I do better? Will I do worse? I have no idea. The thing is with these games, it's really not based on skill. It's based on finding an abusive strategy that will trick the AI into walking into the shit you're trying to do. Versus, if you actually try to play these games on the hardest arcade level like a human, you'll lose every time. You actually have to find, like, zoning strategies and abusive patterns to get the, like, for example, how do you get Zangief to walk into your neutral jumping roundhouse that you do 1,000,000 times? Or how do you bait him to jump so you can anti-air him? That's how you beat it. It's not like, oh, I'm going to fight it like a human. Because if you do that, the game cheats every time. So, we'll see how it goes. But that's not for a while. That's not today. My mom cheered and said, when you place 4th in EVO, were the top 3 Japanese guys totally at another level, or do you think you have a decent chance to beat any of them in a longer set? No, actually, the person who eliminated me, Tokido, we actually were about equal skill level, I would say, with Vega, but I actually screwed up. If you actually watch the match, because the match is on the internet, I make a bunch of critical, stupid, boneheaded errors in the matchup. Probably because at that point I was nervous and I was tired. But in the matchup, it's a Vega mirror match. And it basically could go in either way. The top 2 players were quite good, okay? But am I saying they would have completely, ultimately dominated me no matter what? No, I think it would have been a fun fight against either of them. It could have gone either way. But really, the reason I lost to Tokido in that tournament was my own fault. I mean, you look at the errors I made in the match, you're like, what is Phil doing? Why is he doing that, right? It's just me doing stupid shit because I'm, you know, nervous and shit, so. All right, Random Ghost Charity says, what? No Switch? You said you would buy it if you reach the sub goal. Well, that's wrong. Random Ghost is relating to something I said over a week ago when the subscriber goal for the month was at first 475 subs, and then I lowered it to 450. I said if we hit the subscriber goal at those higher levels, I would buy the Switch version of this collection. But I lowered it because we weren't even getting close to those levels. And I was going to use those, say, 25 to 30 extra subs to finance the purchase of the Switch version. Guess what? We're not hitting those goals anymore. So, no, that is no longer on the table. That was only if we were hitting the higher goal, which we didn't do. Maya the Bees has subscribed to the channel. Thank you, Maya the Bees, for the sub. I appreciate the support. D-Baller429 cheer. He says, Fortnite dev was just sued by the PUBG creators. Quick thoughts. Hilarious. And the reason I say that is because if you actually know the story of these Battle Royale games, all right, I believe they all started with this game called Arma or Arma 2 having these different mods. And then it became a game called DayZ. And then it became H1Z1, which was a mod of another game, I believe. And that was a game that PlayerUnknown worked on, okay? And then PlayerUnknown apparently didn't work for that company anymore, went off, started his own company, and made PUBG. And if you actually look at H1Z1 and PUBG, it's pretty much the same game, okay? I mean, in reality, it is. PUBG just takes all the ideas from H1Z1 and refines them to be something a little different, but it's the same game. So basically what PlayerUnknown did, he made a game for one company. He said, man, this is a big money opportunity. He left the company to make the same exact game for himself and made a ton of money for himself. But then what happened is that he, if I'm to understand the story correctly, all right, when he went off to make PUBG, okay, PlayerUnknown, I guess he bought the engine for PUBG from Epic Games. I guess it was an engine, the Unreal Engine or whatever. I'm not sure if that's correct. It might not be the Unreal Engine. I think it isn't, actually. Now that I'm saying that, I sound stupid. Whatever it is, some game engine. He licensed it from Epic Games, okay? And basically, Epic Games was making a game called Fortnite that was going to be a tower defense game against zombies, okay? Totally different genre of game. But they realized no one was going to buy that shit because no one cared about it. So they decided they were literally just going to take the ideas from PUBG and H1Z1 and other Battle Royale games, all right, and that they were going to make their own version of Battle Royale in Fortnite, okay? Now, if you play Fortnite and you play PUBG, you're going to see a ton of differences too. I mean, in essence, it is. The airdrops, the loot system, the Battle Royale style gameplay. Now, of course, Fortnite has different shit in it. It has, you know, crafting of these buildings and all of that. And it definitely has different kinds of gunplay and stuff. But yeah, a lot of the core mechanics, you can tell, were lifted straight from PUBG. Oh, by the way, just like PUBG lifted a bunch of the core mechanics of PUBG from H1Z1, which, by the way, lifted a bunch of the core mechanics from other games. So it's hilarious. It's been this endless cycle over the past 3 to 4 months, or 3 to 4 months, excuse me, 3 to 4 years of people just copying each other, copying to make the newest, hottest Battle Royale game and make money. So apparently, PlayerUnknown thinks that he's an originator, when in reality, all he's done is the same as what everyone did. He copied, all right? And he thinks that he should own the rights to the Battle Royale system, and he is suing Fortnite, claiming that they stole many of his gameplay elements and the game is too similar to PUBG. And what he's really doing is he's seeking that in South Korea, they're not able, I guess, to put Fortnite into, like, web cafes and shit like that. I don't know. It has something to do with South Korea. I read an article. I was so confused. I said, I'm not going to keep fucking trying to understand this. But, yeah. PlayerUnknown and PUBG are actually trying to sue Epic and say that they should not be able to keep doing what they're doing with Fortnite because they copied PUBG, when in reality, PUBG copied H1Z1 and H1Z1 copied other games. Isn't that hilarious? Great. Anyway. Shout out to Vasherano. And by the way, Vasherano, you are the top cheerer for today. So for the first time, I'm going to update the leaderboards, guys. Vasherano did a 1,000-bit cheer. Thank you very much, Vasherano, for that. And he says the following. Classic Street Fighter hype. Very nice. I'm very hyped as well. Thank you, Vasherano, for that support and that cheer. Random Ron cheered. He says, does the Akuma code still work? Yes. And I know that sounds really stupid. Wait a minute. What? Akumas in Super Turbo ranked matches? Yeah. Want to know why? I mean, there's a really simple explanation, all right? Why did Capcom leave Akuma in Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo's ranked match system? Because they're fucking lazy. That's the only explanation for it. They're lazy. All they wanted to do is directly port the arcade version of these games. They didn't want to put any extra effort. There's no extra colors, no extra music, nothing. Just a base port, That's it. Minimum amount of effort. And that's what Capcom did. This game has minimum amount of effort put into it to put it out as a collection. So for them to patch it and say, oh, we're going to put in a block so the Akuma code doesn't work, was too much work for them. So Akuma is still in the game. And for those who don't know, Akuma is insanely overpowered. He's the best character in the game by far. He has no counter. Pretty much the best character against him is probably Old Sagat. Although a couple other characters stand a chance. Pretty much he can beat everyone with a very basic throw an air fireball, land, throw a ground fireball, throw another ground fireball, jump back, throw an air fireball, land, throw a ground fireball. It's incredibly easy to fucking do. But it's broken as fuck, and that's why Akuma is in reality banned from all competitive play in Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo, but Capcom left him in the game because they're lazy. It's that simple. I don't think there's any malicious intent. I don't think that Capcom's stupid. I think they know that he's overpowered, but they were just lazy and didn't care about it. Okay? So, here's the deal. You need to put in a code in order to get Akuma. It's a big elaborate code you need to do on the select screen. And the truth is, you have to be perfect. Like, if you fuck it up once, you really don't have opportunity to really put it in again. So, I'm curious to see if people try to pick Akuma today and fuck up the code and end up getting, you know, somebody else instead and get all frustrated and shit about it. Because that would be pretty hilarious. But if people pick Akuma, what are you going to do? Once again, it seems like a game where the online leaderboards just won't matter. And that's the truth. Just like Ultra Street Fighter 2, the online leaderboards of Super Turbo will not matter. They will not actually be representative of skill level because there will still be someone who just picks Akuma every fucking match, right? And abuses the system. So, it is what it is, guys. Okay. D-Baller cheered again. He says, Fortnite dev was just sued by PUBG creators quick thought. Oh, two people actually asked me that question. Oh, actually, it was D-Baller asked me twice. So there you go. I already addressed that. Crossed89 cheered. He says, remember to change input lag to 0 in online options. By default, it's set to 3. Yes, I noticed this last night, Crossed, and I already set it to 0. So we're good to go. I'm at 0. I'll double check today to make sure it didn't fucking revert. But I should be good to go. But thank you for the heads up. Welsh Wizard tipped me $2 and said, looking forward to your Street Fighter Turbo gameplay. Me too, man. Very excited for today. YOLO Dopper cheer. He says, Phil, just so you know, the wagers thing you're doing could possibly be against Twitch terms of service. Be careful and watch out. First of all, YOLO Dopper, I'm not doing any wagers. I don't even know what the fuck you're talking about. You're just trying to stir up drama. When did I say I'm doing wagers? I'm not doing any wagers whatsoever. No one is gambling. No one is doing wagers. I don't know what you're talking about. And you should really stop trying to cause problems. Because the truth of the matter is, YOLO Dopper, you do try to cause problems in the stream chat constantly. I've seen it. And if you actually had a concern, you would write me or talk to me behind the scenes and not try to make a public cheer to stir up drama during the stream. I'm not doing gambling. There's no gambling going on. And if you continue to talk shit, you will be permanently banned. Because all you're doing is trying to start trouble. So shut the fuck up. Okay. Rob Bass Jr. subscribed to the channel. Thank you, Rob Bass Jr. for the sub. I appreciate that. AES cheered. He says, I hope we'll be able to play together on Switch. I've never played Street Fighter, and I tried learning some moves in handheld mode on Switch. Some of them were impossible. At any rate, looking forward to the stream. Yeah, I can't imagine. Like if I get the Switch version of this game, I'm going to be playing it on my, what's it called? The Pokken Tournament pad. The Pokken Tournament, you know, controller that I use to play Ultra Street Fighter 2. And with no macros enabled, just like real talk, with no macros enabled, this game is going to be very difficult to play certain characters. Alright. By the way, I'm going to say something, guys. Mr. Meme is a troll and has been trolling all morning. Somehow he got unbanned. If I find out who's unbanning him, you're going to lose your mod ship too. Because he's been here 3 times this morning already. Someone keeps unbanning him and then he comes in and trolls again. And if I see it again, I'm going to look through the logs and someone's losing their mod ship. Because I'm now pissed off. This is the 3rd fucking time this guy was in here. I'm like, how does he keep getting back in? Obviously, someone's undoing it. Don't undo it. I'm telling you right now. Okay. So, as I was saying, if I do get the Switch version of this game, I'm going to have to play it on this Pokken Tournament pad. Or Pokken Tournament pad, excuse me. And there's, like I said, there's no shortcuts or macros. So, I basically would not be able to play Balrog unless if I'm going to play Balrog, I can't do turn punches. Because how on earth am I going to hold down a shoulder button and 2 face buttons to do a turn punch on a pad, right? It's pretty much impossible. So. Okay. Shout out to B-Boy Cyclone, who resubscribed to the channel for the 8th month in a row. Thank you very much, B-Boy Cyclone, for the 8-month resub. I appreciate that. All right, AES, cheered again. He says, now that you hit the sub goal for May, what's the sub goal for June? I don't know yet. I got to think of something. I have a few ideas. In fact, I have one idea that I think I want to bring back. I did a couple months ago. Wasn't very successful, but I think if I'm more realistic with the sub goal, we could do it. So I have an idea. We'll see. You know, we'll see what I want to do. It would be probably, this idea would be a great one for the summer when there's a lot of downtime. So, but I'll let you know soon. We just don't know yet. Rob Bass Jr. tipped me $5 and says, excited to see all the Street Fighter games I never got to play when I was younger. Yeah, I hope, Rob Bass Jr., I give you a good, tasty buffet of all the classic Street Fighter games as I play the 30th Anniversary Collection. Again, I've played every single one of these games I played in arcades back in the day. So, and Welsh Wizard tipped me another $5, and he says, looking forward to your Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo gameplay. So, actually, Welsh Wizard as well as Rob Bass Jr. are tied for top tip. Let me get you guys on the leaderboard. Thanks very much, guys. And keep in mind, guys, again, if you make the top cheer or top tip today, I will get you up on that leaderboard, okay? Deluxe Swine cheered. He says, why do you think Akuma was the only... Oh, wait, let's try this again. Phil, do you think Akuma was the only reason Tokido was able to win EVO last year? Deluxe Swine, I have no idea what you're talking about. Like, no lie. I didn't know Tokido won EVO. I don't know what game he won EVO with Akuma in. I don't follow EVO. So you're talking to the last person on the planet who would understand what you're talking about. I can't answer your cheer because I have no idea what you're addressing. Okay. Random Ghost again cheered, acting like I never addressed the situation regarding getting the Switch version of the game, so I'm just going to ignore his cheer because he's not paying any attention. AES cheered again. He says, as someone who never played Street Fighter, who's a good starting character? Good starting character, I would say if you want to do an all-around character, Ryu. He's got range with the fireball. He's got a great anti-air with the dragon punch. He's got some horizontal movement with the hurricane kick. He's got good footsies. He's all around an average great character. If you're talking charge characters, the thing is charge characters can play very differently. Like you've got Guile, I would say is very similar to Ryu. He's got the range with the sonic boom. He's got a good anti-air with the flash kick. He's got good footsies, right? But some charge characters are very unique, right? Like Vega. His moves are very attacking quickly. They jump around quick. You can wall dive quick, mix up your opponent. Very different style. Or Balrog, very much a rush down character. You're not going to stay full screen with Balrog. You're going to try to get in the opponent's face constantly with dashing low punches and his stretchy arms and, you know, trying to knock him down and keep him down. So really, charge characters, there's really not a staple character you could play to learn the game because they're all very different. All right. So there you go, guys. Shout out to Bioptic Stream. Hold on a second. Okay. Bioptic Stream cheered. And he says, excuse me, let me take that back. Bioptic Stream just resubbed to the channel for the 3rd month in a row. Thank you, Bioptic Stream, for the resub. I appreciate that. He says, here's since Borderlands 1. Thanks for the years of entertainment. Thank you very much, Bioptic Stream. Atlas Telemon cheered. He says, what speed level will you play? 1, 2, or 3? Well, I'm playing with the default, and sadly, like I said, the default that they chose is Turbo 2, but I played last night, and I could tell you, it's faster than it's supposed to be. Turbo 2 in this game and Super Turbo, for some reason, is faster than what is the tournament standard, at least in America. So I'm going to have to adapt to that and play a faster version of the game, because that's what's in ranked matches. So that's what I'm playing. Whatever the default is in ranked matches is, I guess, what I'm playing on. Oh my god, excuse me. Fluffy Moo Chicken cheered and said, this game doesn't have legacy controller support, so I have to play on a broken PS4 pad for today. Thanks, Capcom. If you don't know what Fluffy Moo Chicken is talking about, legacy controller support, what he means is this game does not support controllers for other systems. Like, for example, Street Fighter V supports controllers for the PS4, joysticks for the PS4, but it also supports controllers and joysticks for PS3, because a lot of people still own their joysticks from Street Fighter 4, and that's what they use to play Street Fighter 5. This collection does not support that. Do you want to know why? It's because the same reason that Akuma is in the ranked matches of Super Turbo, because Capcom's lazy. They didn't want to put the effort or time into it to actually put that in, so they said, oh well, PS4 or bust. And that's the bottom line, you know? So yeah, if you don't have a PS4 native controller, sadly you cannot play this collection. It stinks. I agree. All right, shout out to Atlas Telemon, who cheered again. He says, Detroit Become Human is pretty freaking cool. I followed your playthrough on YouTube in my own pace. Well, there you go. That's the fun part. Follow it at your own pace. Have fun with it. I'm starting my second run. I started it yesterday. I'll be continuing that later this week. I really did enjoy Detroit Become Human. It's a great game, great plot, and I look forward to doing the alternate choices in this next upcoming run. C-Nix93 cheered and says, what do you want to see in a Street Fighter 6 if they make another Street Fighter? A return to basics. I mean, in essence, what's happened with Street Fighter, it's trying to become more flashy, easier to play, and it's lost a lot of the essence of what makes a good fighting game. Great footsies. Great reactionary style gameplay, where if you have great hand-eye coordination and great reactions, you can dominate, right? Street Fighter used to be based off of these, and now it's become this kind of play a pattern. I pick a character, and there's a pattern that if I use it, I can get a 50-50 mix-up, and if it hits, I get a ginormous damage combo. That's not what Street Fighter is about. It's not. And it never was. In its essence, it wasn't until modern fighters, Street Fighter 4 and 5, that Capcom kind of lost their way and turned the games into this gimmicky stuff. And that's a shame. I need to get back to basics. Make a game, yeah, maybe a little bit more basic, but if it plays well at a competitive level, less input lag, more about footsies, reactionary gameplay, that kind of stuff, I think the game would be great. But Capcom needs to sell to a mass audience, and will a mass audience want that kind of thing? I don't know. So there you go. I can tell you competitively that's what we need, but I don't necessarily know that that's something, you know, that's something that others would want. So I don't know, man. I don't know. All right. Let's continue. Shout out to Atlas, Yes, Atlas Telemon. He says, do you think we'll see any old school players online from back in the day? I have no idea. None at all. We'll see. It would be awesome if we do. Imagine if I run into old school players. Shirts. Jason Wilson. You know, other notable, you know, players from back in the day. I don't even know who still plays, quite frankly. It would be sweet. Jason Cole. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. My mom, no, not my mother, but actually the guy's name is My Mom, spelled in an odd way. Cheered again. He says, Street Fighter V just released Cody, and it'll have Sagat soon. Would you consider going back? No. I'm not playing Street Fighter V. I've said it 4 zillion times. I hate the game. Alice Telemon cheered again. He says, is that photo of you beside the arcade cabinet real? And is there a story behind it? That is just Photoshop. That is a picture of me. I believe that's at Too Many Games. I believe I was at the Too Many Games convention and I posed for a selfie with someone else. There was actually someone else standing where the arcade cabinet is. And we were both flipping off the camera. And they just got edited out and they put an arcade cabinet next to me for that fan art. So, not the most exciting story. All right, guys. I think we've gotten through all the shout-outs. Let's go ahead and check the sub count. 444. Wow, thanks, guys, for your support. I appreciate that, man. Let's get this up to 444. Thank you very, very, very much. I appreciate that. Shout out to Deluxe Swine who cheered again and said, I'm going to get this for the Switch so I can take it with me when I travel for work. Mobility is key to my life. Well, I would say it's probably an easy game to take with you because it's old school graphics. It's not going to be, like, demanding on the Switch processor or anything. At the same time, I don't know how it's going to play on the Joy-Cons. I'm just saying, real talk here. I don't know, man. I don't know if the Joy-Cons are equipped for this kind of game. I'm just saying. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for your contributions so far today on the pre-stream. We're now going to end the pre-stream, and yes, we're going to get to online play of Super Turbo right now. As I stated earlier, if we play this for a while, you guys get a little bored, I'd be more than happy to switch over to Third Strike for variety's sake. If you cheer, sub, or tip, I'll give you a shout-out during the stream. However, keep in mind, I have to do it between the matches, so please be a little patient. I do prefer today if you tip me. Right now, tips would help me out more than anything else. Okay, so thanks to everyone who has tipped so far today as well. All right, that's it. Let's do it. Let's end the pre-stream. Let's get started. Let's get hype. Street Fighter Collection. Yeah. Let's do this. Here we go. Oh, one more cheer from King of Hypocrisy. He says, I'm a 450-pound dude who can barely walk. My life can't get much worse. I have no idea what you're talking about. And I got a $1 tip from Anonymous. He said, rest in peace, Nasi? I don't even know what this means, but if that is a true Wholehearted message will rest in peace. All right, that is it. Thanks, guys. Let's begin.